milking all that because it is a fine performance by Robert Dickey. These Indonesians and indeed all these Far East boxers at lower weights are tremendously tough, and that is a great performance for Robert Dickey tonight. Well, topping the undercard here at Stoke tonight was a famous name in British boxing, Wally Swift. He's the son of the former British welterweight and middleweight champion. Now, Wally Jr. is quite a character, and we can see him in action now against Ossie Maddix.
Seconds out, round 4.
Into the 4th round then of the scheduled 8, and it's been well, catch-as-catch-can boxing, you could call it. Good performance by Ossie Maddix now, unbeaten in 7 fights, and the kind of boxing we've come to expect from young Wally Swift, former boys club champion back in '83, and it reminded me that I gave him the Best Boxer of the Night award at the Great Tun Room in London. As he said, that was a long time ago. Well, if it seems that to him, you can imagine what it is for me. Got a brother Tony now, who's an unbeaten light welterweight Swift as well, keeping it in the family. Now he's opening up a bit more this round. Maybe the corner there, Wally has told him, come on, you've got to get throwing more punches. He's just allowed Maddix to get on top occasionally. You get the impression, Jim, that Maddix is saying, I can go along with this pace, this suits me fine. What do you think?
Yeah, well, he seems quite happy, he seems in good condition. We haven't seen him really blowing or anything. And I think he's quite pleased that Swift is always in punch range. He hasn't to go looking for him. This type of fight suits Maddix.
Break, stand back.
Minute left in the 4th, and the pattern hasn't really changed now from the start. Maddix a bit busier. Swift got some good boxing ability and some good style and plenty of grit. That runs in the family.
Listen, you're coming down to his level a bit. You've got to pick it up now. Yeah? Have you been wrong? Combination shots to get it, not with everything behind every shot. Not everything behind every shot, yeah? When he bends forward, yeah? Sides. Yeah? Double the punches up. Boom, boom. I've done it in 1,000 times. Double the punches up now. You've got to take this round. You must win to take over this fight now. It's on this round, yeah? Hands up, chin down. When you can have a breather, move the body. Move the legs, make some action. Don't stand
round 5.
Now, come on.
Round 5. Well, how you got it now, Jim? It's a bit not easy to score, but I think Maddix has landed more punches, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think so. The last round we just watched was pretty even. But I think in the earlier rounds, Maddix has been a little bit busier, a little bit more accurate. And I think he's actually been landing the better punches of the two. But it's nobody's ever dominated. Every round has been pretty close.
Referee is Paul Thomas from Derby. Sole decision, no judges. That's always assuming it goes the 8 rounds, but Wally Swift hasn't been stopped or taken account, and Maddix is unbeaten, so the odds would be quite big on a full distance fight. Both a bit, they're getting caught, Jim, and yet they're quite good defensive. I like the way they bob and weave, and they do slip a fair amount of punches, don't they?
Yeah, and when Swift is caught, as he was caught with the right hand there, he really has an excellent chin. He really has a very strong chin. He's taken some real crackers bang on the chin in this one.
Looks to me they might have to sort out a winner in the last part of this fight, the last furlong, as it were. Plenty of rules going with that punch, wasn't it? It was quite a forceful looking dig as well, the right hand. Well, there it is, as I say, National Association Boys Club champion back in '83, and gave up university life at Manchester after a year. Surprisingly, I thought, to come into this game, but there you are, he must like it, and I dare say Dad encouraged him. But there's a lot easier ways to make a living, as he's now finding out.
Seconds out, round 6.
Round 6 of the scheduled 8 at light middle. It's the 11 stone division. Both came in 10 stone, 11 and a half. And Paul Thomas has hardly had to say break or get involved at all in this contest, which shows you the kind of boxing it's been. Doesn't mind standing close, Maddix, when the right hand comes. Instead of pulling back from Swift's punches, he'll get inside them at times. It takes a good fighter to do that, and he gets hit less that way. See, when he's backed off, he's got caught. Stoke crowd, Jim, playing very neutral here with this quietness watching this, aren't they?
Yeah, well, there's a lot to savour and enjoy in this fight. It really is a classic all the way through. I mean, as you said earlier, the referees never had to get involved. There's never a clinch. Good solid punches all the way through. Up to this stage, I've always felt that Maddix is a little bit of power, and his slightly better delivered punches have kept him just that little edge in front all the way through. But there's time left.
Well, it makes a change from some shows that we've been seeing lately with so many quick fights and up and down like yo-yos. It's good to see that possibly some good boxing for 8 rounds. Yeah, he's just been a bit busier now, Maddix. I think Swift can't afford now to be just that little bit static. Not static, but just posing and perhaps a second or two before he gets off the punches. Looking down there at handler Jack Trickett, saying, what do you want from me now? Be like a shower bath that Phil Martin's giving there. I think he's quite pleased with that. Very controlled fighter for a man who's only had 7 professionals.
6, 7 coming up, man. This is the rounds now, man. Good boxing. But let's see that right hand downstairs, yeah? Jump, come on, downstairs, yeah? Hands up. He's getting more and more tired, yeah? Round him. He's got to lean on you. He's got to come to you and lean on you now and rest. Round him, no rest for him. He's throwing shots, you make him.
Round 7.
Into the 7th round of the scheduled 8 then. And I think Jim Watt and I have Ossie Maddix from Manchester, just that shade in front, but you never know how Paul Thomas is looking at it. Well, we said right from the start, Jim, on paper that it was going to be a close contest and some good boxing, and it's turned out that way.
Yeah, it's been a cracker all the way through. I said earlier I always enjoy Swift working, watching him working, but I've always felt if he had a little bit more power in his punches, he really would be a top-class fighter, because he has all the moves and all the punches, but not enough power, and Maddix has been able to take his punches and come driving right back with his own.
And you don't always develop the power overnight, Jim. They always try to say that boxers are born with good punchers. I don't always agree with that. Good training can often bring out good punchers, but I would have thought now that Swift's going to have a job getting power at top level. Got a good variety of punches, Ossie Maddix, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's a very controlled, very compact fighter, and sometimes he looks a little bit stiff, but there's power in every one of his punches. He's coming along nicely. And
he looks like a fighter who's in very good shape too, Maddix. I don't mean that Swift isn't, but certainly it's he's got that little bit of edge, a bit of sharpness. He's looking to duck and dive to get out of trouble cleverly there, Swift. Sometimes a sign of a bit of a weary fighter. Yes, and hanging on, Jim. He's definitely blowing a bit now, Swift, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he really has. He's set a pace himself, and he's been under pressure. He's taken a couple of good punches in this round, which have shaken him. I think a little bit of tiredness and the punches he's having to take are beginning to take its toll.
Seconds out for the 8th and last round.
So the 8th and final round then of this light middleweight contest, and an appreciative clap there from the audience, as I said earlier, who enjoyed watching some good boxing. Well, the pace doesn't look like slackening in the last round, Jim, anyway.
No, they've picked up a little. And the 7th round, Swift was the one who seemed to be flagging that a little bit, but Maddix looks as good as he looked in the 1st and 2nd round. They're really going at a good pace in the last round now. I don't know whether Swift thinks now he's got to try and do something in the last to maybe convince the referee if he can, which I doubt. Well, certainly Maddix's manager, Jack Trickett, there is saying, come on, Ossie, you've won it, son, to pump him up a little bit. But obviously all managers are biased. Trying to pick off a good right-hand punch there as Maddix came in. Swift did well there. See, that was a perfect punch there, Reg. Timing, deliver, everything was perfect, but it didn't shake Maddix at all. And that is the only department that Swift is a little bit short on, the power.
Inside the last minute. First time the heads have clashed there, Jim. It wasn't a deliberate, but it's a pity. It's been such a clean contest.
See, for the first time, Maddix is beginning to hurt Swift now. These punches are really troubling Swift. He'll be doing well just to hang on until the end of the round, because they've been shaken a couple of times in this round.
So the referee tucks his points up at the end of each round. He knows exactly how it stands. So he should be able to raise the winner's arm immediately. And he does so, and he's waiting for the congratulations, and Maddix gets the decision, and rightly so. Very good performance by this lad to win his 8th consecutive contest, and gets the hug from the trainer there, Phil Martin.